Why, hello, replay viewers. Let's see who tunes on in. Deming, first one in the room, an angel. Hello again. Good to see you, Ramona. Good to see you guys. Let's let some people tune on in before beginning our presentation here of the Panorama of New York City. Looks like this gallery here has nothing in it. Good to see you, Travis. Good to see you, Rouge Jones. Welcome back, everyone. Good to see you, Marco S. Welcome. Good to see you, Viking 180. Welcome. Let's let everyone tune in before we begin our walk around the largest scale model in the world, the Panorama of New York City. Good to see you there, Brian Davis. You was watching my stream earlier when you was here. Awesome. Yes, you were. Good to see you, Ms. Viking. Shout out to the Vikings out there in Liverpool. Good to see you, Martin. Hello again. Good to see you, Deborah. Hello. Welcome. Good to see you, Darlene. Welcome. Good to see you, Tamara, out there in the great state of Texas. Welcome. Let's let 50 people tune in, and then we'll begin our walk around the panorama. And actually, while we wait for people to tune in, I'm going to take off my hat because I don't need it. I'm inside. Good to see you, Janine Trainer. Welcome. Good to see everybody, people. Let me take off my hat. It's hot. It's hot. I'm warm. Put away my hat. All right. It was a refreshing powder break there, Jim. Refreshing powder break indeed. Good to see you there, Darlene. Good to see you, Phyllis. Welcome. Let's let 50 people tune in, then we'll begin. Good to see you, S. Fields. Welcome back. Hello again there, Nicolas. Welcome. Good to see you, Craig. We're back on again, indeed, from the Panorama of New York City, the largest scale model. If you've never seen this before, you're going to be pretty impressed. We do have the original audio presentation narrated by Lowell Thomas. We're going to hear, courtesy of the Queens Museum, and then we're going to walk around the panorama here for about an hour or so. When you was here, they were having a food giveaway. Yeah, Darlene, yeah, there's a food pantry that operates from the museum here, which is pretty cool. There's a food pantry which operates from the museum here. I believe they do that on Sundays, if I'm not mistaken. But we're in this, away from this massive room here. We have this massive room we're about to enter. This is gonna be fun. If you've never seen this before, get ready because you're going to see a scale model of the entire city of New York. Sorry, Nassau County. Sorry, Suffolk County. Sorry, New Jersey. You're not on the model. Steak and potatoes indeed, Craig. You asked for the long line oh, yes, for a display. There you go, Darlene. Yes, indeed. Let people enter the panorama without a camera on them. Yeah, that's right. You're in for a treat, people. That's right, Darlene. These people are in for a treat. Let's let 50 people tune in, and then we'll begin. Let's see if we can get 50 people tuning in the next 5 minutes. Because no doubt we are not outside, we are not walking, so it takes a little bit more time for people to tune in. But here we go, guys. It is amazing, Ramona. Can't wait to see the model, Joshua. Yeah, indeed. I love looking at this model, Joshua. The first time I ever saw the panorama, I was 11 years old, and it still gets me every time. Good to see you, Susan Ingalls. Don't forget to hit that like button, Darlene. Absolutely. Let's go. Let's go, Dutch. Good to see you, Gary. Welcome. You guys ready for it? Now, what I'm going to do is when we enter the panorama, we're going to hear the original soundtrack of the panorama. So I'm gonna play that for you guys, and then afterwards I'll come back and we'll discuss and we'll zoom in and walk around the model. But I love the little plane and the lights turning off and on, Darlene. It is truly an amazing sight to see. Are we at 50 yet? Are we at 50? I see 36 on my end. Are we at 50? Let me know if we're at 50. Let me know if we are at 50. If we're at 50, then I'll go in and we'll begin our presentation. I want to let 50 people tune in, at least 50 people tune in. We're at 40, 49. I was 11 years old the first time I saw this, Joshua. I came here for a social studies class. I want to thank Dr. Quinn from my 6th grade social studies class for taking me here when I was 11. I love the plane too, Donna Lynn. Good to see you. 42 on my end. I see 42 also, Craig. I see 42 also. Let's see if we could get 8 more people in. Let's see if we could get 8 more people in, and then we'll begin. This is a sight to see. The panorama of New York City. Oh, we went down 39. Oh no. People are tuning away because they're only seeing us of white. You see Martin, good to see you, Martin. 45. I see 41 still. I see, hit that like button, people, hit that like button so more people can find this. Oh no, yours is going down. Lynn D, good to see you, Lynn. Oh no, it's going down. I see 41 also. Can we round up? Exactly, Gary Ting, good to see you. You're down to 39 now? Oh boy, we're going up and we're going down and up, and people really want to see walking outside, huh? Okay. You're back, Leela. Welcome back. You see 40 on your end, Craig? I am still at 41 on my end. I'm still at 41. Are we going to top out at 40 before we begin this thing? Bloody hell, okay. Oh no, okay, we petered out at 41. I appreciate that. Motion activated viewers. Yes, indeed. Only 26 likes, so only half of the people watching have liked the video. Good to see you, Sally. Welcome. We've got 43 now. Okay, 43 now. We got to hit 50. I want to hit 50. 44. Ooh, I see 49 on my end now. One more to go. One more to go. One more to go. 49, 49. Where did you here did some work done? Yes, indeed. You're here to did some work done. Yes, indeed. Get some work done. Good to see you, Felix. I see 49 also. I see 49 also. Yes, indeed. S Fields, yes, indeed. This is a pretty cool day. There we go. Now I see 52, Lynn D. All right, Lynn and everyone watching, thank you so much for hanging on out. Here we go, guys. We're going to go into the panorama. Good to see you, Myrna, out there in Canada. Shout out to all my Canadian viewers. Different devices, of course. Yes, indeed. NJ785, welcome. All right, we're at 50. Here we go, guys. Here is the panorama of New York City.
Now look below you. The city of opportunity and of greatness, New York. More than 800,000 buildings, millions of stories, bold and eloquent poems in concrete, glass, steel, soaring, stretching bridges and towers, reaching beyond expectation to record for all time the energy, thought, and hope of man. Look at this map and you locate the human race. This is as far as we've gone, a quick snapshot of our progress on Earth. By tomorrow, it will have changed. Far more than stone and glass, this turbulent city capital of the 20th century is energy, the accumulative force of 8 million people who daily inhabit its towers, walk, ride, and play in its streets, and give this city its meaning, a surging metropolis of 8 million masters with one incredible servant, the municipal government of the city of New York, whose annual budget is larger than any of the 50 states, larger than most of the United Nations, whose capital is also here. How do you protect 8 million people, prevent contagious disease, educate 1 million children, serve 1 million aged, take care of the needy, provide job opportunity, leisure time opportunity, a good life for all? An alarm in the night. From almost 300 fire stations, the red lights flashing below, engines instantly on their way. One of 1,000 fires a week, mainly in crowded districts where many people live. New York, $35 billion worth of buildings, 8 million lives, in the hands of 12,000 dedicated officers and men. The fire department, largest in the world, working closely with the police, traffic, the courts, and correction to make New York a safe place to live. 90% of all fires are preventable, and 95% of its firemen teach prevention door to door, in the hospitals, on the beaches with a sound truck, and in the schools. 600 elementary schools, the blue lights flashing below. 250 junior and senior high schools, the yellow lights. 1.25 million students, and all deserve the finest education our town can provide. The 3 R's are still basic, but students are also trained to think and make judgments, to get along with others, to have high moral and spiritual values. Today, the Board of Education faces difficult problems, integrating children of different races. The teenager who drops out of school just when he needs more education to get a skilled job. But through the patience and hard work of their 50,000 teachers, the city's children daily receive a better understanding of their world and of themselves to make the best use of their own abilities. 850 public schools, 11 city colleges, dozens of museums, over 200 libraries, the city's own radio and TV stations. All these together make New York one of the great centers of free public education for kindergarten kid or senior citizen. Educational opportunity for all. Every 3 minutes, another baby is born, 165,000 every year. But even before arriving, the new baby is a client of the Department of Health, the green lights flashing below. Maternity care, birth, infancy, nourishment to maturity, adulthood, old age. A lifetime of well-being for 8 million people. This is the challenge and incredible achievement of the Department of Health. What does it take? In its laboratories and clinics, minute-by-minute vigilance. Examine and analyze the air we breathe, the food we eat, the water and milk we drink, the drugs we consume, the cosmetics we apply, the houses we live in, the waters of our beaches. Through 22 community health centers and its own research council and institute, the Department of Health stands guard together with the Departments of Sanitation, Hospitals, and Public Works, and tries to solve this problem. Take a lifetime of well-being and multiply by 8 million. The answer? New York, the healthiest city of its size in the history of mankind. The social welfare investigator, one of the most difficult jobs in modern society, daily running the gamut of human want, inadequacy, suffering, need. The Department of Welfare, the blue lights below. It's the largest single social welfare agency of its kind. It provides the necessities of life to those people of the city who can't provide for themselves. Almost 60% of those receiving public aid are children under 18. Tragic aftermath of broken homes and unwed mothers. And 20% more of those being helped are the aged poor. Welfare's aim is to strengthen family life, protect the children, and to restore as many as possible from dependency to self-support, helping each person realize his own potential. This is the commitment of a city to human worth and dignity, to the welfare of all. Marionettes, the Park Department's very own, presented free to all the children of the city. A simple way to introduce theater to awakening minds. and in 300 wading pools, on 11,000 swings, 3,000 seesaws, in more than 850 playgrounds, the white lights below. Every kind of game to strengthen young bodies, to get lively girls and boys to play according to the rules. Free concerts in the park, more than 300 each year, make leisure time more rewarding for older folks too. And they get quite a kick out of seeing Shakespeare again, superbly produced in the park, free. The dances, entertainment, big bands, but most of all, our senior citizens appreciate the Golden Age centers. Here they find new friends, learn new skills, try arts and crafts, or just enjoy small talk with a smiling companion, instead of the loneliness and the erosion of old age. A new way of life. Through its Department of Parks, the city serves young and old alike, just as they serve the city. This, then, is New York. Far more than steel and concrete, the buildings and streets you see below are lines of force, paths of energy, the restless energy of 8 million people today and millions earlier who together created and are creating this city. Here stretched before you is the cumulative effort of 300 years. 300 years of hope and daring of people of every nation, color, and creed, welcomed by one place of opportunity to live and work together to make their private dreams come true. Here is the mark of our time, man's proudest achievement. Welcome to the city of New York.
Don't you just love that, guys? 300 years of hope and daring indeed, Myrna. The largest architectural scale model in the world. Inside this room, the UN had its first General Assembly. Inside this room, UNICEF was born. Inside this room, the partition of Israel was created. Isn't that amazing, Ramona? I could listen to that every morning too, Myrna. And I have to be completely honest. I sometimes when I'm stuck in traffic or on the express bus or I'm on the subway coming into work, I love hearing that. I'm a long way from home now. So right now I am living way out here. I'm living right there along that beachfront in Seagate, Brooklyn. And right now we are way over there. We're pretty far away. I literally live on the other side of the city from here, but you know what? It's worth it. Such history indeed. So if you don't know the layout of New York City, I'm going to show you it right now. Manhattan Island, Central Park right over there. The Bronx is right up here. This is Queens. All of this here is Brooklyn. And then over here, the Forgotten Borough. Staten Island is right over here. We have the Verrazano Narrows Bridge just beneath me here, the longest suspension bridge in North America, longer than the Golden Gate by about 62 feet. The scale on the model is for every 100 feet in real life, it's just 1 inch on the model. So it's pretty amazing. But there's Verrazano, there's the neighborhoods of Bay Ridge. That big park down there, well, below that big park is Fort Hamilton. And then we have the amazing Dyker Beach Golf Club, or just a golf park. It's a public park it's a golf course. Then we make our way along the waterfront here towards the neighborhoods of Sunset Park, Dyker Heights. So Dyker Heights would be where the Christmas homes are. The Christmas homes are in this area here. This is Sunset Park. That is Greenwood Cemetery, Prospect Park. Then we have Park Slope, Burham Hill, and Carroll Gardens. The Brooklyn Manhattan bridges, downtown Brooklyn off in that direction. How often did this model get updated? So Viking, the last time this model was updated was way back in 1992. There has been some additions made to the model, but overall, the model has not been updated since 1992. So the biggest thing on this model, and I always encourage tourists to see this, is the Twin Towers are still on the model. Let's zoom in and take a look at them. So as we zoom into Lower Manhattan, we have Governor's Island near the bottom of the screen right there. And as we zoom in a little bit more, there are the Twin Towers right there. The Twin Towers on the model, and another big addition to the model is just to the left of the World Trade Center. That's Battery Park City. All of Battery Park City, all that land to the west of West Street, all reclaimed land from the original construction of the World Trade Center. When they dug down some 70 feet, they removed 2.7 million cubic yards of dirt and debris. They placed all that dirt and debris to the west of West Street and created that entire neighborhood of Battery Park City. To the lower, what's that there? The lower right-hand side, you can just see Brooklyn Bridge Park. That is a new addition to the model. Basically, the idea is that if you are an owner or a developer of a new building, you can have your building added to the model, but you do have to pay for it. It's not very expensive, but my favorite thing is you could actually get a deed to your apartment building. So if you have your apartment's address, you could contact the Queens Museum, and I think it's like for $50, you could get a deed, a paper deed to your building here on the model, which is pretty cool. But there's some big glaring things that are not here on the model, and as we move towards downtown Brooklyn, of course, all these new buildings in downtown Brooklyn not on the model, but the Williamsburg Savings Bank building is on the model. And as we make our way up the East River, we see the Williamsburg Bridge, we see the Newtown Creek, we could see the Queensboro Bridge, and then the only building is that Citicorp building in Long Island City. So there's a whole new skyline in Long Island City that is not represented on this model. As we continue to look north, we see the Hellgate Bridge, the RFK Bridge off in the distance. We see Randall's and Ward's Island. We come over, the Bronx is near the top of the screen. In the middle of the screen, you have Rikers Island. We do need the Cheesecake Tower on the model. And then, of course, we have LaGuardia Airport. And then we have the Throgs Neck and Whitestone Bridges near the top of the screen there. The new City Field is also on the model. So they added the new City Field and new Yankee Stadium on the model. So those are on the model. The newer pieces of the model are created using a 3D printing process, and then the original buildings are all made out of wood. They used fire code maps to create all these buildings on the model. Again, there are 895,000 buildings represented on this map here, on this model here. So you want a close-up of Rikers? We got to come around the model here because I am zoomed in all the way. Because I'm pretty far away from it. So let's make our way around Rikers Island, towards Rikers Island here, and we'll get a close-up look of Rikers here. But again, this is the largest architectural scale model in the world. Shanghai has a similar model, but not to this scale. Coney Island, right here, Sheepshead Bay. This is Floyd Bennett Field, Jamaica Bay. And as we're directly above the Rockaways now, so we have Breezy Point, Roxbury, Fort Tilden, that is Reese Park, Neponset, Bell Harbor, Rockaway, Far Rockaway, off in that direction there. And then John F. Kennedy Airport is right over here. In the middle of Jamaica Bay is the only community in the middle of Jamaica Bay, and that is called Broad Channel, Queens. Well, we're now flying high over the model. This is a representation of if we were flying around 10,000 feet above, in a plane above the city. This is what it will kind of look like. Miranda wants to see Rikers Island, so let's zoom into Rikers Island here. The overcrowded prison that is Rikers Island. Ooh, a little plane is landing at LaGuardia. Let's watch the plane land at LaGuardia. So Rikers Island just off the coast. So Rikers Island, I think it was a ammunitions depot at one point. I think they used it for the Civil War. There goes the little plane. Down the little plane goes. And then it's gonna take off. Yeah, so everything was something before, exactly. There goes a little plane. But there's Rikers Island right there. We move up, that's the Bronx, Wards and Randall's Island right there. And then that's that's Harlem. We're looking at Harlem right there at around 125th Street. Moving north towards Washington Heights, Inwood, that's a George Washington Bridge. Way off in the distance, camera's having a little bit of a problems focusing. There we go. Happy little plane, yes indeed. Christopher, this is amazing. Christopher, I never get tired looking at this model. I feel like 11-year-old me every time I come into this room. It even smells. But there's a great view of the Twin Towers. Let's zoom in on that. There they are. The camera's having a little bit of an issue with the lighting in here. I visited Harlem many times, Miss Viking, but I've never live streamed from Harlem. I visited Harlem many times, but never live streamed from there. We can see Statue of Liberty, which is really tiny on the model. So we're looking at Lower Manhattan, World Trade Center, Manhattan, Brooklyn Bridges, Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island, Governor's Islands, all in that shot right there as the sun goes down here on the model. How many days are we going to spend here in the model? Let's find out. As we're in darkness, we'll come back down towards Manhattan again, and we'll get some close-up views of Manhattan. But the little lights that Lowell Thomas was mentioning, those are the lights on the model. The rest of the model is illuminated using black light. And a new lighting setup was donated to the Queens Museum when they filmed the movie, I believe it's called Wonderland, for a Netflix movie. But again, for every inch on the model is 100 feet in real life. As we look at Staten Island again.
Trying to iron out the differences to prevent war, but they weren't successful. And so,
as we come around here, we're making our way back towards Manhattan again. Now we're going to start out way uptown, up by the George Washington Bridge. Yeah, you know, Myrna, New York City and all urban areas, it's pretty incredible to think how much resources we use on a daily and even hourly basis. I'm still always impressed by our water system here in New York City. We have such a massive water system that was created now about 100 years ago, so it's pretty epic. As we fly over, we're flying over Manhattan Island. There's Central Park right there. So now we're directly above the George Washington Bridge. Washington Heights, Inwood. Inwood, the most northerly neighborhood in all of New York, in all of Manhattan Island. You can see how much terrain is uptown. The Cloisters, Fort Tryon Park is right here. Then this is Inwood Park right over here. This is the Harlem River, which separates the Bronx from Manhattan. Harlem River, Randall's and Ward's Islands, East River, Long Island Sound. And now as the sun rises on the model again. As you see, New Jersey is blacked out. Anything outside of the 5 boroughs is blacked out. So if you mention anywhere that's in Nassau, Suffolk County, New Jersey, they are not on the model. Now we're looking downtown here, down the East River, or down the Hudson River, sorry, down the Hudson River. Captain Sullenberg and his Miracle on the Hudson happened right about here at about 42nd Street. So to think the plane flew down the Hudson River and then eventually floated down the Hudson River to be tied up along the seawall just to the north of the World Trade Center. That large body of water in the middle of Central Park, that is the Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis Reservoir. That's part of the Croton Aquifer System, the first freshwater system for the city of New York. Just like real life to a New Yorker, nothing exists beyond. Exactly, John Law. Indians Exposed Investigative Reports. Welcome. But you can see how Central Park, you see all the hills in Central Park. You know, the grid plan of 1811 for the island of Manhattan really does mute out the original terrain of Manhattan Island. But it's all here in the model, which is just insane. Over 300 people took over 3 years to make this model. It has over 349 panels, I believe, to create this entire model. Again, the original buildings are made of a balsa wood, and the more modern buildings, especially for the 1992 update, were made out of plastic. We could see where Hudson Yards is. Hudson Yards is right here. The Javits Center is right here. Yesterday we walked from Hudson Yards down the High Line, down to Pier 57, which is right about there. We saw our sunset from Pier 57 last night. But as you see, lots of things are not on the model as if it would be today. John Law, I have looked all over for videos and films of the model being built, and there is literally nothing. Dutch is part of Central Park a golf course. Donna Lynn, uptown around this area here by the North Lawn, there is a golf hole. There are a couple of golf holes in Central Park, but no proper golf, like a whole golfing course. But there's a couple of holes up here in this area. Where do the trains come in? There is no trains here on the model because they'll be too small to see. But you can, if I'm going to zoom in on it, you can see the High Line very closely. No, we couldn't yell in the elevator. Sorry, Darlene. No. Yeah, I wish we could have seen the model get built, but I'm going to zoom in on the High Line here because we were there yesterday. And let's zoom in on that. And can you guys see it? It's right here. It's a very thin little line here, but that's the High Line. Let's zoom in on it. There's the High Line Park, everyone. There is the High Line. We're looking directly at the Chelsea Market right now, formerly the National Biscuit Company building, the Bisco factory, and then we're moving towards the north here. So this is the High Line Park today. And then it takes you down to you can see the spur. The spur is right there, and then there is Hudson Yards, which obviously is not on the model. But as you see, it's really small. Again, for every inch on the model is 100 feet in real life. But we had our sunset right there. We had our sunset right there at Pier 57. Those two piers to the left-hand side do not exist anymore, but where those two little smokestacks are, that's where the Fireboat 343 is parked. Of course, Little Island NYC is a new pier, which is obviously not on the model. But that little building right there with the little, the building to the far left-hand side there, right there, that's where we saw sunset yesterday, was right there. That little T-shaped pier, that's where we saw our sunset yesterday. Pretty amazing little bit of architecture here. Pretty amazing piece here. And then we have, we zoom in on the Empire State Building. Empire State Building right there. Madison Square Park just to the south. If you look closely, you can see the Flatiron Building. Flatiron Building, the Metropolitan Life Building, the New York Life Building, all along Madison Square Park. Then we keep on moving south. We have Union Square Park and Gramercy Park right over there. Also, Tompkins Square Park is going to be further down. There's Tompkins Square Park. Tompkins Square Park. And then near the bottom of the screen, let's get it into the middle of the screen, Washington Square Park. There's Washington Square Park right there in the middle. If you look closely, you could see the arch. There it is. My favorite building, the Woolworth Building, is downtown. We want to go downtown, make our way to City Hall. Let's zoom in at City Hall. Oh, I'm so happy too, Darlene. So let's see if we could see. And Woolworth is right there. Is Woolworth like damaged? We're looking at City Hall Park. Oh, there it is. It's right there. You gotta move around here. We gotta move around. It's right here, guys. Yeah, I think the top of Woolworth is missing. Yep. That is supposed to be where the Woolworth building is. It's that kind of U-shaped building. The top of the Woolworth building is missing. Look at that. The top of the Woolworth building is missing. Holy cow. We could see City Hall. City Hall is in the middle of that yellow triangle. I mean, sorry, that green triangle. Yeah, Woolworth is missing the top portion of the building. What happened to the top of the Woolworth building? Holy cow. The top of the Woolworth building is missing. Wow, oh no, my favorite skyscraper. What the hell? Because you see those twin towers. There's the twin towers. There's a whole World Trade Center complex. Yeah, Woolworth should be, this should be Woolworth right there. I know, I have to point it out to the curator. I think they know about it. So, but yes, Woolworth is missing. But there's the Twin Towers. The original number 7 World Trade Center still in the model. It seems like something's happened downtown. A lot of the buildings are slanting. But we have the Bank of Manhattan building, 40 Wall Street. That's in the center of the screen. The Amalgamated Insurance building is also in the model. A lot of the newer buildings in downtown are kind of muted. Awesome. Enjoy lunch there, Socrates. Popcorn would be nice in that tour. Yes, indeed. You got Battery Park right down here, the Staten Island Ferry. Castle Clinton right there. And then we go across the harbor to Governor's Island. Castle William, Fort J, off in this direction here. The ventilation shaft for the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. Was Woolworth building damaged with the collapse? I have no idea, Leela. So the American Copper building would not be on this model, Donalyn, because that's a newer building. The last time they updated the model was back in 1992. The American Copper building would be off in this direction here along the east side of Manhattan. Right side NYC, you hope they don't replace World Trade Center with the Freedom Tower. Well, right side, you should know that the Freedom Tower is a nickname, so it's not the real name of the building, it's One World Trade Center. And eventually, when the whole World Trade Center complex is completed, they will replace the original Twin Towers with the new complex, and then they'll put the original Twin Tower complex on display. Good to see you, Tamara, welcome. During the Civil War, did the tall ships ever enter the harbor? They entered the tall ships entered the harbor, Myrna, during the Revolutionary War. The British came in with a lot of ships, and that all happened just last weekend. August 27th, 1776 is the Battle of Long Island. So what happens is George Washington and his troops fight the British troops in this section here of Britain. The British troops invade from the south, from right about here, from where the Verrazano Bridge is. They make their way up north. George Washington retreats from the heights here. They make their way back down. They go into Governor's Island, and then they come back over, and then they hold Lower Manhattan, which was then just New York. And so George Washington held on to New York while Long Island was British controlled until 1783. Now we could do a GoFundMe. Yes, indeed, Felix. Yes, indeed. Basically, George Washington went across the, this is the Gowanus Canal right here. This was all swampy land back in the day. No, they're not going to scrap it, right side NYC. They're not going to scrap it. They're not going to scrap it. They're going to put it on display. Very amazing history indeed. I don't know where you heard you're going to scrap it. That's a complete lie and complete bullshit. But you should know, Freedom Tower is a nickname. Freedom Tower is not the original, not the actual name of the World Trade Center. It's actually One World Trade Center. And the World Trade Center was originally 7 buildings in the complex in total. And we're rebuilding 7 buildings, but they're going to be all tall instead of just 2 tall ones. Balderdash, yes indeed. Looking down towards downtown Brooklyn now. The detail is very amazing, Felix. From what I have read, the creators of the model were very nervous because Robert Moses had final say on all the panels for the model. So he wanted it to look exactly as realistic as possible. So, yeah, they worked on this very, very meticulously, to say the least. The last time this was touched was not in 1992. The entire model was updated in 1992, but parts of the model were updated over time, like Citi Field, like the new Yankee Stadium, like Brooklyn Bridge Park. There are some buildings that have been added to the model since 1992, but the last time the entire model was updated was in 1992. But like Brooklyn Bridge Park, that's all new right here. And Brooklyn Bridge Park is from the 2010, sorry, 2010. Donalyn, I'm glad you're enjoying. So now we're over New York Harbor. Statue of Liberty, really tiny on the model. And the camera does not like the lighting setup in here. There's our Statue of Liberty. Statue of Liberty really small on the model. Remember, the Statue of Liberty is only about 3 inches tall here in the model. And then we look at Staten Island here. St. George, the North Shore, the Narrows, the South Shore, Staten Island. Clove Lake Park right there. And then in this direction here, we have the Green Belt right over here. Awesome, Leela, come on out. And then off in this direction, the Fresh Meadows, the Fresh Kills landfill. There's John Lore. Hi, John Lore. When you went here, there was an interactive wall at Liberty Island. I don't think it was interactive there, Miss Viking. There was an art piece that brought, I think, awareness to... There was an awareness art piece about domestic violence. I don't think it was interactive, though. You never appreciate how much land Staten Island is. Yes, indeed. Oh, John Lore's right across the street from Clover Lake Parks. There you go. Right, did you see, Miss Viking, did you see projections on the wall here? Because those were women who survived domestic violence. I don't think it was anything, I don't think it was interactive. There hasn't been anything interactive on the model in a very long time. The last time artists were able to come into the model, there was an art piece that was kind of superimposed on a model about buildings and structures that were never built here in New York City. And that is on the live stream. Oh, there was a virtual reality thing and you put on the goggles. Yes, I remember that. Yes, you put on goggles and you heard. Yes, that I remember. Yes, Darlene. There was a virtual reality thing. You put on goggles and you saw them and you heard their stories. Yes, indeed. That I remember. Yes, indeed. I remember that. It wasn't about domestic violence. Was it about stuff that wasn't built in New York? Was that it? Was it like Never Built NYC, I think it was called? There are beaches on Staten Island, all along the South Shore right here. Where we went to go see turkeys was right about here. But there's beaches in Staten Island. Yep, plenty of beaches indeed, John Lore. Plenty of beaches indeed. What? This is a pretty large room. Oh, okay. Interactive wall in Liberty Island Museum. Yeah, that's really cool. That I do remember. Yes, indeed. I got a little mixed up there, but I know they had some kind of virtual reality exhibit here at the Panorama. But yes, there is a interactive wall on Liberty Island. Yes, indeed. That's really cool. You're going to see those wild turkeys in a few weeks. So stay tuned. We'll be going back to this neighborhood again to go see the wild turkeys because Thanksgiving right around the corner. So here's where I live, Coney Island. We're gonna watch fireworks from right about here. That's where we watch our fireworks every Fireworks Friday. And that's where we're gonna be going to tomorrow. So fireworks, and then this is Manhattan Beach right here, Kingsborough Community College right there. And then right over here, this is Sheepshead Bay. We could see the train tracks that take us out. This is the Q line right here. This is the Q. See how the Q runs all the way there? And then we have the F. The F train is right here. So you can actually see the subway lines come in. What is Staten Island famous for? Staten Island is famous for being a very quiet borough where you could own a car. It's easy to find parking in Staten Island. Staten Island's also the least populous borough at around, last time I heard it was 700,000 people live in Staten Island? Or is it still at 500,000? It's not even 1 million people live in Staten Island. But 2.9 million people live in Brooklyn. Around 2.1 million people live in Queens. Same goes for the Bronx, and only 1.4 million live on Manhattan Island. The weather's going to be perfect tomorrow night for fireworks, Miss Viking. We're going to have beautiful conditions, very low humidity. Might get some wind, but it's going to be fun. Ooh, chewing gum was invented in... Really? Chewing gum was invented in Staten Island? That's something I didn't know. Greg, I have never missed a fireworks Friday in Coney Island since 2001. With all the plane traffic, it's amazing how safe. Absolutely, Myrna. That's right, Viking. That's right. JFK Airport, right down here. Got the old Pan Am terminal still there, and the World Port, designed by I.M. Pei, still on the model. The only neighborhood in the middle of Jamaica Bay called Broad Channel is right there. And then Far Rockaway is off in this direction here. But where I'm walking would have been where the simulated helicopter ride would have taken place. Let's get one last view here of Manhattan Island here, and then we're gonna begin making our way out. And that's Manhattan Island. Gonna make our way up the East River. Central Park. Making our way all the way uptown to the George Washington Bridge. The camera is really having a tough time holding a focus with all the light in here. But here's where we are on the model. Let's zoom in on it. Flushing Meadows, Corona Park, Queens. You can see the Unisphere. It's on the model. We're inside the little rectangular building right now. That is the New York City Pavilion. We can see that cylindrical building just to the south, or just to the east from this perspective, and that would be the tent of tomorrow, the New York State Pavilion. We could also see the whole Billie Jean King Tennis Center is not on the map. Only the old Singer Bowl is on the map. But we do have the new Citi Field just to the top. The Roosevelt tram is too small to be on the model. So let's look over there. I'm gonna show you. Good to see you, Rich. I'm glad you're enjoying. So this is the Queensboro 59th Street Bridge, also known as the Ed Koch Queensboro 59th Street Bridge. And the tram would be just to the right of the bridge, and it is too small to be represented on the model. Remember that for every inch on the model is 100 feet in real life. But we are directly above JFK Airport. Let's look at it. This is JFK Airport right here. We're directly above it. So this is JFK Airport coming out onto Jamaica Bay, which is off in this direction here, and the Rockaways. The best beaches in New York City are in the Rockaways, but this is all of JFK Airport. We're actually above it. You've got to look through the glass floor here to see all of it. But JFK Airport is on the model. We actually have the old Pan Am terminal, which was an impressive piece of architecture, which unfortunately does not exist anymore. You can see the TWA terminal. That's TWA by Aero Sarnen. And then we have the amazing Pan Am terminal right there. It's that circular structure. And then the one right next door to that is the Pan Am Worldport, designed by I.M. Pei. Both of those structures do not exist anymore. Let's watch this little plane land at LaGuardia. One last time. Come on, camera, focus. Yay, there it goes. Yep, TWA is the terminal they redid and turned it into a hotel. Yes, indeed. There it goes. It's taking off. It's taking off. How cool is that? I mean, how cool is that? Let's come up to the Bronx here. Yep, Captain Sullenberg, he landed his Miracle on the Hudson way over there at about 42nd Street and the Hudson River. And I'm thinking about staying at the Pan Am Hotel with my wife sometime in the near future, so stay tuned. Good to see you, Nebul. Bienvenue. So now we're getting up to about 10,000 feet. I could stay in here for hours, Felix. Kirk, Belmont Park is not in the model because Belmont Park is a part of Nassau County. So from this perspective, Belmont Park would be right about here. The aqueduct is on the model, which is right over there. Aqueduct is on the model, but not Belmont, because Belmont is, it will be right here, just on the other side of the highway. So Belmont is not in New York City, it's in Nassau County. Anything in Nassau County, Suffolk County, New Jersey is not on the model. Every now and then I'll get people who comment on this video and they say, where's Rockdale, New Jersey? And it's like, that's not on the model. Rikers Island is right there, just off the coast of LaGuardia Airport. There's Rikers Island right there. North and South Brother Islands, just to the right-hand side of that, and then the Bronx. As nighttime falls on the model, we'll let the sun come up one last time. And then I'll show you one more thing, and then we'll end today's live stream. There's a really cool little thing here where they want you to touch it, which gives you an idea. This is how big the buildings are here on the model. And you could touch the Empire State Building. So cool. And Myrna Bergen with a 10 Canadian super chat. Myrna, thank you so much for the 10 Canadian. Thank you so much for joining today's 5 Canadian Club 2 times today. Much appreciated. Great tour of the Panorama. Could watch this every time. Me too, Myrna. Me too. Myrna, thank you so much for the big $10 super chat. Much appreciated. We're gonna let the sun come up here in New York City one more time as the moonlight comes across New York City here. And I'm gonna show you one more thing, and that's gonna be a model of the 1964-65 World's Fair. But let's let the sun come up here on the model one last time. We'll take this in one last time. Then after that, I gotta use the bathroom and hop on the train and go home. Follow me on Instagram because I might be doing a very ranty Instagram live. So stay tuned for that if you so choose. Also, this museum closes in a little bit. This was the old United Nations. Yes, Felix. In this very room where the Panorama sits, this is where the UN General Assembly first met. Also, they created the partition for Israel in this very room. And also UNICEF was born in this very room where we're looking at this panorama right now. Long trip home indeed, John Law. I'm gonna start from here. I'm gonna make my way into Manhattan, take the express train through Manhattan, make my way through Brooklyn, and then make my way all the way out to Coney Island. So don't you love my ranty Instagrams? Thank you so much, guys. Darlene, way too much history. Way too much history. As we bid the Panorama a final goodbye, let's go into this one last section here of visible storage. And I'm gonna show you one more piece. We have some relics here from the 1939-1940 World's Fair. We got some pavilions here in miniature. A lot of the memorabilia. you could have gotten at those World's Fairs. Here, I know, souvenir heaven, but this is what I want to show you guys. This is all relics from the 64-65 fair. Robert Moses talked to John F. Kennedy on this telephone right here. But of course, here is the model of the 64-65 World's Fair. It's in the same scale as the Panorama, so for every inch on the model is 100 feet in real life. And this is where we come to an end, ladies and gentlemen. You have seen the future. You have seen it all. Certainly has been a fun day exploring around Flushing Meadows Corona Park. I hope you guys enjoyed it today. And it's time for me to go home. So from the Queens Museum here in Flushing Meadows Corona Park, this is Dutch Moz signing off. Have a fantastic Queens Day, whether you live here or not. I want you to hug your loved ones, cherish the moments, and good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are. Stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. See you guys tomorrow, folks. Bye-bye.